Join Big Hawk on a transformative journey exploring mindset, goals, and growth through failure.
Perspective Podcast with your boy Big Hawk. Thank you for another episode joining me, tuning in with me for another great conversation. Before I get started, I just want to give a shout out to everybody who subscribed to the channel. And for those of you who are new to the channel, hey, hit the subscribe button. Help me out, help me grow the channel, help me grow the platform. We're just trying to give you the best content week in and week out that we can possibly produce. Listen, take everything I say with a grain of salt. Everything I tell you is based on my experience and based on my perspective, my outlook on life. And I hope what I said is hope that it can give you some sort of value in your journey, in your walk, as you strive to be the best version of you that you can be every day. Let's get into it. We're gonna talk about today my personal development journey, but how it started. What was the catalyst for me wanting to be a better person, a better man, the best version of me that I can be. I want to start by saying personal development is not a quick fix. It's not you find a solution and that's the end all be all. Personal development is a lifelong journey. It's a lifelong filled with lifelong challenges, but as you develop the skills and the character traits to become better, you overcome the challenges that you face day in and day out. So it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Once you strive to become better, just know that it's going to be a lifelong journey ahead. Not to say that it's going to be bad, but I mean, no matter what you do in life, you're going to have good times and bad times. You're going to have ups and downs. So that's just, that will come with being alive. That comes with being a human. So it has nothing to do with the good and the bad times that life brings, the ups and the downs, the ebbs and the flows of life. They're coming anyway. So you can't look at that and then have a pity party or, you want to blame this person or woe is me. That ain't it. When you striving to become better, when you striving for excellence, when you striving for greatness, these obstacles are going to be in your way. But personal development sharpens your skills. You hone in on the skills that you're good at, but also it makes you aware of where you're weak at. And it also helps you sharpen the skills where you're weak at, the sharpen the skills. It's called mastery. And it all begins in the mind. And once you begin to sharpen your mental skills and control your emotions and handle your emotions better, you'll begin to not take everything personal. Why? Because you're on a mission. And when you know your mission in life, you can then take the emotions out of your daily journey, your daily walk, because you have a goal, a bigger picture. There's a bigger picture, there's a bigger outcome at hand. But when you're walking aimlessly, just day by day, you have no direction in life. You have no aim for where you're going. You don't have no goals. You ain't set no goals. You just merely existing. It's easy to take everything personal. It's easy to blame everybody for your mistakes and for your actions, and then have a pity party, self-induced pity party. That's because you have no drive, you have no aim, you haven't set no goals that you want to reach. You're just living every day hoping, wishing, and praying instead of manifesting, declaring, and achievement and achieving. So, and for me, living in that manner, just walking aimlessly, didn't have no direction, hoping things would get better, putting my life in the hands of other people. Because remember this, if you give a man permission to feed you, you also give a man that same permission to starve you. And that was me for a number of years. Just hoping things will get better. I know we look at hope in a positive manner, but when you're dealing with personal development, hope should be thrown out of your vocabulary. When you engage in personal development and you're striving to be great and you're striving to be better, there ain't no such thing as hope. You have to declare and decree. You have to manifest. You have to set goals, but most importantly, you have to make a decision. You have to decide that you want different in your life. Hope is only good for when it's dealing with something outside of your control. But personal development, that's in your control. So ain't no hope when it comes to personal development. Ain't no hope. There's no hope. It's only declaration and manifestation. And it's only going to be achieved when you decide that it's going to be so. When you change your mind, change your mindset, and you get tired of being stuck in a rut, and you get tired of being last, being marginal at best, being just mediocre, you'll change. You'll change that. And I got tired of that. I got tired of being mediocre. I got tired of being marginal at best. I got tired of being at my very best average. So I decided to change. Was it change easy? Not at all. Not at all. Because when you do a thing for an extended period of time, it becomes a part of you. It becomes a part of your DNA. It becomes second nature to you. All the habits, the character traits, your daily routine. And your routine is created whether you're aware of it or not. And these things become habits. So all these daily habits that we created through the course of our life, unbeknownst to us, we just know we do certain things on a regular basis. And when you decide that your life is not where you want it to be, and you decide you want to change, those habits begin to rear their ugly head more visibly and more noticeably. And that lets you know I got a lot to work on. That lets you know I have a lot to work on. Because we do things unconsciously. We do things like it's like second nature. We don't even think about it. We just do it. When you walk down the street, you see a nice looking young lady, you might look at her. Everybody notice attractive women, attractive men, things like that. But I'm talking about the things that we just do unconsciously. We look at her twice, or you look at him twice, and then you may try to get her attention. You ain't even thinking about what you're doing. You get her attention. She may like what she see too. Now you don't got a number, but you got a wife at home. You got a girlfriend, or you trying to get to a higher place in life, and you allow this distraction that potentially set you back. But you weren't even thinking about what you did. You just did it because that's what you always done unconsciously. These are the things you got to become aware of and break these habits and then create new habits. Because, to the day you die, you're going to see somebody that's beautiful. You're going to see somebody that's attractive. But does that mean you have to act on everything you see that's beautiful and attractive? Heck no. Heck no. That don't mean that. But because of our nature, the things we do, those routines and repetitions we created over time unconsciously, we just do it without thinking. And these are the things that you're gonna have to. These are gonna be the forces that you're gonna have to fight against day in and day out. Can you see somebody that look nice? Yeah, you can. Can you see somebody that give them a compliment? Sure, you can. But do you got to get their phone number? Do you make conversation with them? Do you try to extend the conversation past just, oh, you look nice, just want to give you a compliment? There's a big difference in that. And once you know your strengths and your weaknesses, you're not going to be able to get that compliment if you ain't strong enough to just talk, get a compliment, and move on. You ain't going to be able to do that. If you know that women is your kryptonite, fellas, you can't entertain a woman. Ladies, if you know men your kryptonite, you can't entertain that man if you're on your journey of personal development. So this is just it. But we got to become aware of these things. That's the power of awareness. Once you become aware, then you begin to put steps in place to keep you from becoming distracted. But yeah, my journey in personal development, it stems from failure. It stems from failure. It stems from effing up over and over and over again. And one day I just got tired of messing up. One day I just had to sit down and think about why my life has gone the way that it has gone all this time. And I've had some good times in my life. I had some bad times in my life. But for me, the bad has always overshadowed the good. And I just got tired of going through the bad times, because my good times are always short-lived because of the routine that I've developed over the course of my 40 plus years of living. And that routine had a stronghold on me, and so much so that it caused me to lose all of my successes, caused all of my successes to be short-lived, because the negativity that I was living by always came back into play and dominated the good that I was always doing. And I just got tired of that. And that sparked my journey in personal development. Do I have gifts? Of course. We all got gifts. We all have gifts. And that's the secondary reason for my personal development journey, because my gift was always knocking. My gift was always knocking at the door of my heart, at the door of my mind. Always knocking. I knew I was designed for greater. I knew I was meant for more than what I was doing. I always knew that. But how to get from the unlearned, just negative practices, negative routine, want to be entertained more than I want to learn and grow. I didn't know how to get from mediocre to excellent. I didn't know how to get from marginal at best to exceptional. Just didn't know how to get there, because I'm just used to doing one thing a certain way all my life. So I had to discover how to get from marginal to excellent. Had to discover how to get from mediocre to exceptional. Like, I had to discover that. And what I discovered was, you got to change your mindset. You got to change your mindset. And in order to change your mindset, you got to make some physical changes in your life in order to change the mental and emotional changes necessary to create a new mind. And that's a tough thing to do, because you got certain friends, you got family members, you got loved ones, you got relationships that you have cultivated and developed over a greater portion of your life. And for the most part, birds of a feather flock together. But this bird, you or me, we want to fly a different direction. That's going to bring challenges in and of itself. Once you decide that you want to do better, you're going to begin to make change. That means you ain't going to be hanging out with your partners no more as much. You ain't going to be on the phone with them rapping as much. You ain't going to be doing things. You ain't going to be attending different functions and different events that you normally would attend. Parties, clubs, lounges, all that type of stuff. Because you're on a new track. You're trying to forge a new pattern. You're trying to forge a new trajectory in life. And that requires change. And as the saying goes, if you can't change the people around you, guess what? You got to change the people around you. And that's what I had to do. So I don't have many friends now. I have a handful of friends I still deal with. Probably maybe I can count on one hand, for real. And even with those friends, like, I still have to be mindful of what I allow to enter into my subconscious, because I know where I come from. And I know what I'm capable of. And I don't want to be that guy no more. So you got to be selective in what you're willing to entertain. That's going to cause friction, especially with your family, your friends too. You're going to hear those, oh, you think you better than me now? You're going to hear those, bro, what's going on? You missed all that now? Man, let's go do such and such. You ain't trying to do that no more, man? What's up, man? You don't drink no more? Man, you tripping, bro. Man, you tripping. You better than me? Oh, you a man? Oh, you're going to hear it all. But you can't let it discourage you. Will it discourage you? Of course, if you allow it to. But like I said earlier, once you begin the path of personal development, you can't take nothing personal, because you're on a mission. If you take it personal, that means you still invested in the old you. That means you still invested with the friends that's not gonna take you on the path you're trying to go. That just means you gotta dig deeper. That means you gotta dig deeper. So yeah, once you begin to change, it's gonna be a separation. They're gonna start falling off. You know who my mentors and friends is now? Books, interviews, lectures, different events. I had to change my scenery. Yeah, until I find people that is of like mind, like me. Yeah, I just read more books. I listen to more different interviews that coincide with where I'm trying to go, lectures, workshops, things like that. That's going to be the initial step to get you from the old you to the new you. Because we humans, we love interaction. We love relationship. We love companionship. Not just sexual, but we love relationship. We love having friends and people to depend on and to help out and things like that. That's just human nature. But when your friends are not conducive to where you're going, when your friends are not conducive to the lifestyle you're trying to live currently, the new lifestyle you're trying to forge for yourself, you're gonna have to let them go. It's gonna be tough, but it's necessary. It's gonna be tough, but it's necessary. That momentary or temporary sacrifice is gonna be worth it in the end. It's gonna be worth it in the long haul, because you're gonna be a blessing. Number one, to yourself, you're gonna be a better version of yourself, and then you're gonna be able to help the people you love the most. If they want you to help them, if they want your advice, if they want your guidance, but you're gonna be better for your community and for humanity. That's just it. Personal development is not about what you can obtain for as riches and abundance. But should you strive for riches and abundance? Most definitely. Most definitely. Not for the act of getting riches and abundance, but because of what striving for riches and abundance will make of you. When you strive for greater, whether it's monetary gain, whether it's personal, whether it's attitude, whether it's aptitude, no matter what it is, when you begin to strive for greater and when you begin to learn new habits and create a new paradigm, that stretches you, that changes you, that creates a different paradigm in you, that creates ultimately the mindset that you want. It creates better character. It creates better discipline. It creates better habits. It creates better routines, which ultimately gives you the wherewithal, the stamina, and the stick-to-itiveness to reach your goals and dreams because of change. Because of change. And you want to change for the better, not for the worse. You want to change for the better, not for the worse. But yeah, for me, I got tired of failing. Man, my middle name was failure. Everything I did, I remember praying to God years ago. I said, God, everything I touch crumble. Everything I touch crumble. But you told me if I had faith of a mustard seed, I can have the desires of my heart. But everything I touch crumble. Why is that? Everything I put my hands on, man, was nothing good come out of it. I can tell you why. That faith I thought I had, I really didn't have it. I had a scarcity mindset. I had a mindset of hope and desperation, wishing somebody would come save me, as opposed to me saving myself, as opposed to me making the necessary changes so that I can change my diaspora, if you will, change my life, change my way of living. And it's all through mindset. On my Perspective podcast, listen, it ain't magic. It's mindset. You got to change it upstairs before it comes reality in your life tangibly. You have, look at it like this here. Your imagination is the most powerful thing you have. Your imagination is the most powerful thing you have. You have to create it in your mind first, in your thoughts, in your visions, in your dreams first. And once you create it in your mind, then you have to begin to create it in your reality where you can touch, taste, feel, you know, and that requires discipline. That requires a new set of habits. That means you have to unlearn some things and then relearn some things. That means you have to get around people who are where you're striving to be. That means you have to go to seminars. That means you have to go to workshops, whether online or in person. That means you have to find mentors, pay for the mentorship. That means you have to do these things. Or if you have somebody that you can call that don't mind giving you advice, don't just let me pick your brain. No, man, take them to lunch, take them to dinner, talk to them, tell the truth about what you're trying to do. And 9 times out of 10, they'll be happy to help you. But a person who is already doing amazing things in personal development, their time is valuable. So you might have to pay for it. And that's okay. If you think you're going to get anything for free, you're fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself. When you see free, you don't see value. When a person say free, the person who receiving the free gift don't see the perceived value in something that was given to them. But when you put your time, your money, your energy, and efforts into something, then you discover the value in what you're trying to do. Then you discover the value in what you're receiving, because you got skin in the game. I mean, you invested in something, and personal development is the ultimate investment. You're investing in yourself. You're investing in yourself, becoming the best version of you that you can be. That requires investment. And why wouldn't you want to invest in yourself? So what, they charge a few $100s. No matter what they charge, so what, they charge that. Are you not worth it? You'll go out and buy Jordans. You'll go out and buy designer, whether real or fake, so you can look like you're worth more than what you really are. You'll go out and spend the money to look like something. But why won't you go out and spend the money to become something greater? You got to change your mindset. You got to change how you see things. Your investment in yourself is worth its weight in gold. It's worth its weight in gold. And once you begin to invest in yourself, you begin to see the changes in your life. You'll begin to see the mental strength and the emotional toughness that you develop, because you got the skills. You acquire the skills. You acquire the habits necessary through that investment, and then through repetition as well. Person give you the blueprint. Now you begin to study the blueprint. And that's a daily process. That's a daily battle. And over time, you begin to see the changes for the better. And guess what? People around you begin to see the changes too. And it won't be all negative. It's going to be positive as well. But like I said earlier, me failing so much, it just infuriated me. But failure ain't bad. Failure is not bad. Failure is actually a good thing. We need to learn how to fail. Learn how to fail fast, and learn how to fail forward. Not fail backwards, but fail forward. When you fail and you fall forward closer to your goal. You fall closer to your dream. That's because you take that failure as feedback. And then once you get the feedback, now you know what to do and what not to do moving forward. So that's how you gotta look at failure. But at the time, I didn't look at failure that way. I looked at failure as I just was just wasn't worth nothing. But that sparked my journey. And once I begin the journey, I begin to learn that failure ain't failure, it's feedback. And once you get the feedback, you begin to figure things out. I think about all the greats, from entertainment to sports to music, movies, acting. Everybody has failed. All the greats has failed. You name them. Michael Jordan failed. Denzel Washington failed. Jeff Bezos has failed. You name it. All of them has failed. I think about Henry Ford. He got the credit for inventing the first car. He only had a third grade education. He didn't let that stop him. And by all accounts, they didn't see him as anything until he got that first car into production. And now Ford, he's gone, but his work is going to live into perpetuity. It's never going to end. All because he decided to make a change. All because he put all his focus, all his energy into his dream, and that's to create an automobile. And it worked. Thomas Edison, he was given credit for creating electricity. We know that ain't true. And Hotep was the originator of electricity, but in today's society, they give him the credit for it, and that's fine. But guess what? He only had a 6th grade education. But did he let that stop him? He has recorded, allegedly, he has recorded over 10,000 failures before he finally got the process right for electricity. Over 10,000 times. It was all feedback. It was all feedback. So you can't let your failures cause you to quit. The only way you can call yourself a failure is when you give up and walk away and you throw in the towel. Then you can consider yourself a failure. But as long as you keep trying, you ain't failing. You're learning. And that ain't failure, it's feedback. And once you get the feedback, you begin to figure things out. You learn what to do, what not to do, learn how to do it. You might have to add a little bit more over here, take a little bit less from here. It's all feedback. Then you begin to figure things out. So that's just it. So don't let the failure stop you from pursuing your perceived goals, your perceived dream. Don't let the failure stop you from fighting for excellence, for greatness. Because you are great. You are great. You have excellence inside of you. You just have to learn how to cultivate and develop that perceived greatness. Until you do that, you're going to have obstacles. Until you learn how to overcome the obstacles, it's going to stay right in front of you. But until then, you got to put yourself in position and find the right people to help you overcome your daily challenges. I'm going to land the plane right there. That's it for another episode of My Perspective Podcast with your boy Big Hawk. Until next week, I love y'all. Peace.